Hi, my name is Carolina with Always Expect More, and today we're going to talk about how to prepare your quilt for quilting. Let's get started. To prepare your quilt for quilting, you'll need a few different supplies. You'll need your finished quilt top, your quilt back, your batting, and depending on whether you're sending your quilt to a long armor or quilting it yourself, you'll need either coat hangers to hang up your quilt for a long armor or something to baste your quilt with. Today, we're using basting spray. Start by opening up your quilt top with the seams showing up. Whether you've pressed your seams open or to the side, you'll want to make sure that all your seams are flat. Look for any areas where your seams have puckered over and press those as smooth and flat as possible. Inspect your entire quilt top. If you have any significant creases in your quilt, you'll want to go ahead and press those out. Make sure that when you do, you're not adjusting or moving those seams that you've just inspected. It doesn't have to be perfect. We just want to get as many of the wrinkles out as we can. Once you're done, do the same with your quilt back. If you're sending a quilt to a long armor for quilting, your quilt might be directional. If it is, you'll want to indicate that by marking the top and bottom of your quilt top and also the top and bottom of your quilt back, so that way the long armor can load it correctly. We're going to be quilting this one ourselves, and it's not directional, so we don't need to worry about that. Fold your quilt as little as possible before putting it on your coat hanger. You'll want to smooth out any wrinkles because we don't want those wrinkles that we just pressed out to get back in. We'll fold this one more time. And put it on the hanger. Do the same with your quilt back, and you can bring it to your long armor. You may or may not need to bring your own batting. We're going to quilt this quilt ourselves, so we need to baste it. We'll start by laying out our batting. You can do this on a large table, or you can do it on a clean floor, whatever large space you have available. This batting has some folds and creases in it. I'm not too worried about it. If you have a piece of batting with lots of folds and creases, you can throw it in your dryer for a couple minutes with a damp cloth. Just wet a washcloth, wring it out really well, and throw it in the dryer with the batting, and that'll release almost all the wrinkles. Once you've smoothed out your batting as much as you can, you want to lay your quilt back on the batting. We're doing the back of the quilt first. Smooth out your backing as much as you can. And your backing may be a little larger than your batting, but both your batting and your backing should be larger than your quilt top. Once you've smoothed it out, we're ready to baste. Some people choose to pin baste, some people choose to thread baste. The absolute easiest way to baste is to spray baste. Lift up your quilt to about halfway and then spray. Spray a section of the quilt. Place the backing back on top and smooth out. You'll want to smooth out any wrinkles. Any wrinkles or puckers at this point can show up in your quilting. Pull the quilt back until you feel it tugging and repeat the process. Once you've fully basted your back to your batting, flip your quilt over. If you have anything on your back that you want to align with your quilt, keep an eye on where it is. You can put pins on the front to keep track of it better. Now we'll just repeat the same process that we did with the back with the front of the quilt. We'll lay it out on the top of our batting, smooth it out, and spray. If you're working on a small table like this, turn your quilt around, repeat the process with the other side, and you're all ready to quilt.